Hey, you might have seen from our kitchen setup in a few of our videos and some of our pictures on our blog and stuff, you might have seen that we have a water station in our back kitchen. Between our cooler and our drawers, we have this drawer. The drawer was something we searched for a long time. We wanted something that could fit in that space that we knew we had. We knew we had the size of the drawers and the size of the cooler, and we needed to put some drawers right in the middle. The problem with it was that it doesn't fit the spout. So if you look at this drawer here, you can see the spout wouldn't fit. So we decided instead that we could cut the front part of this drawer. Let's cut this part here and make this shape that would fit the spout. To do that, once we had the water jug here, I'll just take this out of the way for a second. Here's what it looks like in the end. To get to this point, basically, I cut through the center of the front bar and cut down through the mesh, straight down. Once I started cutting the mesh, I realized that it was a lot easier to cut it on the exact angle that it came in. I also found that using the file, I had a metal file, which I was going to use just to clean things up. It turned out the metal file actually cut through this metal mesh a lot quicker than even the hacksaw. It was a lot easier to get in there, and it just sort of went through the mesh like butter. So once we had the mesh cut and we had it separated from the metal rim, I needed to bend the metal rim down on an angle so that it would give the space that we needed for the spout. However, when I went to do the bending, it was way tougher to bend than I expected. So like I said, it was hard to cut through, while it was hard to bend too. Instead of bending, I actually did a small slice through the metal on both sides. And then that way I left about like a third of the metal left, and then I could bend it down. The plan all along was to cover all of the connection and all of the front here, basically cover all of that with an epoxy putty. And now I actually love this stuff. I use it for every project now. It's just awesome. So basically epoxy putty is a two-part epoxy that both parts are kind of like plasticine, and you knead it together, and that starts the chemical reaction to make it cure. And you have about 5 to 10 minutes of work time to work it into a shape. So once I bent it down and I got them all lined up, I just got the epoxy putty ready. I kneaded it together, got it all nice and smooth, and then applied it. And you basically, it's not going to hold things until it cures. So you have to have everything in the right position before you do that. So I was able to just put the epoxy putty on. I filled the gaps up here where the saw cut was. I filled the middle down here. This is actually just straight up epoxy. And I used an epoxy that was called PC metal. It was a metallic kind of epoxy. It kind of has a bit of a titanium finish, they say, to it. I wouldn't call it metallic looking, but it is really strong. And once I put all of this on, let it cure for about 10 minutes, it was solid, and we were able to use it. You might notice some of the pictures that we have from when we were making this. This is all a dark metallic color, kind of almost a black. For the look in the back of the kitchen, we wanted it to have a little bit of a different color, so we ended up just spray painting the whole thing red. You can see once we had that done, the water jug fits right into place, and we can use it as a tap in our kitchen.